Have you ever grabbed leftovers from the fridge, popped them in the microwave, and thought you were making a quick, healthy choice? What if I told you that some of those reheated foods could silently harm your body, raising your risk of cancer, digestive issues, and even brain damage? In this video, we're diving into 5 common foods that doctors and nutritionists warn should never be reheated because they can turn toxic. These are everyday foods you likely think are healthy, but science reveals how reheating them can create harmful compounds linked to serious long-term health risks. Stay tuned until the end to discover not only which foods to avoid, but also the surprising reasons why, backed by real medical science, so you can make smarter kitchen choices to protect your health and feel your best every day. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know so I can make a better video for you. Now, let's get started. Number 1, reheating spinach releases harmful nitrates. Spinach is a nutritional powerhouse, celebrated for its versatility and health benefits. Whether it's blended into smoothies, sautéed into stir-fries, layered in lasagnas, or tossed into salads, this leafy green is a staple in kitchens worldwide. Packed with vitamins A, C, and K, as well as iron and antioxidants, spinach is often a go-to choice for those aiming to boost their health. However, a common kitchen habit, reheating spinach, particularly after it's been stored, can turn this superfood into a potential health risk. At the heart of this issue lies spinach's naturally high nitrate content. Nitrates, in their natural form, are not only harmless but beneficial, supporting healthy blood flow, reducing blood pressure, and even enhancing exercise performance. According to studies published in journals like the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, however, the chemistry of nitrates changes under certain conditions. When spinach is cooked, stored, especially at room temperature or in the fridge for extended periods, and then reheated, particularly in a microwave or at high temperatures, a chemical transformation occurs. Nitrates break down into nitrites, and these nitrites can further convert into nitrosamine, compounds that have been extensively studied for their carcinogenic properties. Nitrosamine are no small concern. Research, including studies from the World Health Organization and the National Cancer Institute, has linked these compounds to an increased risk of cancers, particularly those affecting the gastrointestinal tract, such as stomach and colorectal cancer. Additionally, emerging research suggests that nitrosamines may contribute to neurological damage, potentially exacerbating conditions like cognitive decline or even playing a role in neurodegenerative diseases over time. The transformation from nitrates to nitrosamines is subtle and invisible to the naked eye, making it an insidious risk for those unaware of the science. This issue is particularly relevant for older adults, whose bodies are more susceptible to environmental and dietary toxins. As we age, our cellular repair mechanisms slow, and our systems become less efficient at detoxifying harmful compounds. What might have been a minor issue in our 20s or 30s can have a more pronounced impact in our 50s, 60s, and beyond, particularly on sensitive systems like the brain and nervous system. For instance, chronic exposure to low levels of nitrosamines has been associated with inflammation, a known contributor to cognitive decline in conditions like Alzheimer's disease, as noted in studies published in Neurology. Consider a common scenario: you prepare a large batch of spinach-laden vegetable soup on Sunday, intending to enjoy it throughout the week. On Tuesday, you reheat a portion in the microwave for a quick lunch. While the soup tastes fine, the reheated spinach may now contain nitrosamines formed during storage and reheating. Over weeks, months, or even years of repeating this habit, these compounds can accumulate in your system, potentially contributing to long-term health risks that manifest silently. The solution isn't to avoid spinach altogether. Its fresh form remains one of the healthiest foods you can eat. Instead, adopt smarter preparation habits. Whenever possible, consume spinach fresh or lightly cooked. If you've prepared a dish with spinach, try eating leftovers cold. Think spinach salad or cold soup to avoid reheating. If reheating is unavoidable, do so gently, using low heat on a stovetop rather than a microwave, and avoid reheating multiple times. Additionally, store spinach-containing dishes in the refrigerator promptly and consume them within a day or two to minimize nitrate breakdown. Knowledge is power. Understanding how everyday kitchen practices can influence your health empowers you to make informed choices. By making small adjustments, like prioritizing fresh or cold spinach, you can protect your body and brain from silent risks, ensuring that this nutrient-packed vegetable remains a health ally rather than a hidden threat. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 2, reheated potatoes can quietly disrupt your health. Potatoes are a beloved comfort food, cherished across cultures for their affordability, versatility, and satisfying texture. Whether mashed with butter, roasted with herbs, baked with a crispy skin, or simmered in a hearty stew, potatoes are a cornerstone of countless meals. However, a little-known risk arises when potatoes are cooked, cooled, stored, and then reheated, a common practice in many households. This process can trigger changes in the potato's composition that may pose health risks, particularly when handled improperly. When potatoes are first cooked, their starches break down into a soft, digestible form that our bodies process easily. However, as cooked potatoes cool, especially if left at room temperature or refrigerated for too long, these starches undergo a process called retrogradation, transforming into resistant starch. Resistant starch, in moderation, can be beneficial, acting as a prebiotic that supports gut health and helps regulate blood sugar, according to research in the Journal of Nutrition. But the trouble begins when these cooled potatoes are reheated, particularly using high-heat methods like microwaving or uneven reheating techniques. The primary concern with reheated potatoes lies in their potential to harbor harmful bacteria such as Clostridium botulinum, the bacterium responsible for botulism. This risk is amplified when potatoes are cooked, wrapped in foil, which creates an oxygen-poor environment, and allowed to cool slowly at room temperature before storage. These conditions create an ideal breeding ground for C. botulinum, which thrives in low-oxygen, starchy environments. Even if the potatoes don't smell or look spoiled, the bacteria can produce neurotoxins that are odorless, tasteless, and invisible, but capable of causing severe illness, including symptoms like nausea, dizziness, and, in rare cases, neurological complications. For older adults, this risk is particularly concerning. Aging brings a natural decline in immune function and digestive efficiency, making the body less equipped to combat bacterial toxins. Moreover, the gut-brain axis, a growing area of medical research, highlights how gut health directly influences cognitive function. Chronic inflammation caused by harmful bacteria or toxins in the gut has been linked to an increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, as noted in studies published in Frontiers in Neuroscience. Thus, the seemingly harmless act of reheating leftover mashed potatoes could, over time, contribute to systemic inflammation that impacts both physical and mental health. Imagine you've baked a tray of potatoes for dinner, wrapped the extras in foil, and stored them in the fridge. A couple of days later, you reheat them in the microwave for a quick side dish. While convenient, this practice could introduce low levels of bacterial toxins into your system, which may accumulate with repeated exposure. The risk is even higher if the potatoes were left to cool slowly before refrigeration, as this extends the window for bacterial growth. To enjoy potatoes safely, follow a few simple guidelines. First, cook only what you'll eat fresh whenever possible. If you must store leftovers, cool them quickly and store them in airtight containers, not foil, in the refrigerator to slow bacterial growth. When reheating, use a stovetop or oven to ensure even heating, and avoid reheating potatoes more than once. If leftovers have been sitting in the fridge for more than a couple of days or show any signs of spoilage, err on the side of caution and discard them. Potatoes remain a nutritious and delicious food when prepared and handled with care. By being mindful of how you store and reheat them, you can minimize risks and maximize their benefits. For older adults, who are often focused on preserving energy, memory, and overall vitality, these small adjustments can make a significant difference in long-term health. Number 3, reheated eggs may release harmful compounds. Eggs are a cornerstone of American cuisine, prized for their affordability, versatility, and nutritional density. Whether scrambled for breakfast, hard-boiled for snacks, or incorporated into quiches and casseroles, eggs are a go-to protein source packed with essential nutrients like choline, which supports brain health, and high-quality protein for muscle maintenance. However, a common habit, reheating cooked eggs, especially in a microwave or at high temperatures, can transform this wholesome food into one that may pose subtle but significant health risks. When eggs are first cooked, their proteins undergo a process called denaturation, where they unfold and reconfigure into a digestible form. This is a natural and beneficial part of cooking. However, reheating already cooked eggs, particularly using uneven or intense heat, triggers further chemical changes that can compromise their safety and nutritional value. Two key issues arise: the breakdown of sulfur compounds and the oxidation of cholesterol. Sulfur compounds, naturally present in eggs, can degrade during reheating, producing a characteristic rubbery texture and off-putting sulfurous odor. More concerning, however, is the oxidation of cholesterol in the egg yolk. When reheated, especially at high temperatures, cholesterol can oxidize into compounds called oxysterols, which have been linked to increased inflammation and a higher risk of cardiovascular diseases. According to research in the Journal of Lipid Research, chronic inflammation, in turn, is a known contributor to cognitive decline, memory impairment, and neurodegenerative conditions like dementia. As highlighted in studies from Nature Reviews Neurology, older adults are particularly vulnerable to these effects. As we age, our bodies process fats less efficiently, our arteries become less flexible, and our brains become more sensitive to inflammation. This means that dietary habits that seem minor, like reheating scrambled eggs for a quick breakfast, can have outsized consequences over time. For example, imagine you hard-boil a batch of eggs on Sunday to eat throughout the week. On Wednesday, you microwave one to warm it up. While it may seem like a healthy protein-packed choice, the egg's proteins have become tougher, and its cholesterol may have oxidized, introducing inflammatory compounds into your system. Over months or years, this habit could contribute to systemic inflammation that quietly undermines your health. To minimize these risks, prioritize eating eggs fresh or shortly after cooking. If you batch cook eggs for convenience, consider enjoying them cold, such as in salads, sandwiches, or as a snack, rather than reheating them. If reheating is necessary, use gentle, even heat, such as a low-temperature stovetop, and avoid multiple rounds of reheating. Additionally, store cooked eggs in the refrigerator promptly and consume them within a few days to maintain their quality and safety. If an egg smells off, looks discolored, or has been stored for too long, it's best to discard it. Eggs remain a nutritional superstar when prepared thoughtfully. By making small changes to how you handle and consume them, you can continue to enjoy their benefits while minimizing potential risks. These seemingly minor decisions, how you store, reheat, or choose to eat your eggs, can add up to significant health benefits over time, supporting your energy, cognition, and overall well-being. Your body deserves the best, and sometimes that starts with rethinking something as simple as your breakfast routine. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 4, reheating chicken can trigger hidden inflammation. Chicken is a staple in many households, celebrated for its versatility, affordability, and reputation as a healthy, lean protein. Whether grilled, roasted, or baked, it's a go-to choice for fitness enthusiasts, busy families, and anyone looking to maintain a balanced diet. Many of us cook chicken in bulk, storing leftovers in the fridge for quick meals throughout the week. It's convenient, time-saving, and seems like a practical choice. But here's a surprising fact you may not have considered: reheating chicken, particularly using methods like microwaving or high-heat ovens, can subtly alter its composition in ways that may contribute to inflammation, digestive issues, and even long-term health concerns. When you first cook chicken, the heat transforms its protein structure in a way that makes it more digestible. The proteins denature, breaking down into forms that your stomach and intestines can process efficiently. However, when you reheat that same chicken, especially if the process is uneven, as often happens in a microwave, or if the temperature is excessively high, those proteins undergo a second transformation. This additional heating can cause the proteins to become tougher, more rigid, and less bioavailable, meaning your body has to work harder to break them down. For younger individuals with robust digestive systems, this might not be immediately noticeable. But as we age, our digestive enzymes and stomach acid production naturally decline, making it harder to process foods that were once easy to handle. The result? You might experience bloating, discomfort, or a vague sense of sluggishness after eating reheated chicken without fully connecting the dots to the reheating process itself. The impact goes beyond digestion, though, and this is where the stakes get higher. Research in nutritional science has shown that reheating proteins like chicken can lead to the formation of compounds that trigger low-grade systemic inflammation in the body. These compounds, such as advanced glycation end products, AGEs, form when proteins and fats are exposed to high heat multiple times. AGEs are particularly concerning because they're not just a minor inconvenience. They're linked to chronic inflammation, which is now recognized as a root cause of numerous health issues. Inflammation doesn't just manifest as joint pain or swelling. It's a silent driver of serious conditions like heart disease, insulin resistance, and even neurodegenerative disorders such as Alzheimer's and dementia. Over time, the cumulative effect of consuming foods that promote inflammation, even in small amounts, can wear down your body's resilience, leaving you more vulnerable to these age-related diseases. Let's paint a picture to make this more relatable. Imagine it's Sunday evening and you've prepared a batch of roasted chicken breasts for the week. You store them in the fridge, and on Tuesday you reheat a portion in the microwave for a quick lunch. You notice the chicken has a slightly rubbery texture, maybe a faint off flavor, but you shrug it off. It's still edible, right? What you might not realize is that this change in texture and taste reflects deeper chemical changes in the food. The proteins have undergone a second round of heat-induced damage, creating a product that's not only less palatable but also harder for your body to process. This places a subtle but real strain on your digestive system, which, over time, can cascade into stress on your immune system and even your nervous system. This issue is particularly critical for older adults, who may already be grappling with inflammation-related challenges like arthritis, high blood pressure, or cognitive fog. Chronic low-grade inflammation acts like a slow-burning fire in the body, sapping energy, dulling mental clarity, and even affecting mood. For someone in their 50s, 60s, or beyond, these effects can make daily life feel more taxing than it needs to be. While avoiding reheated chicken won't magically resolve all health issues, it's a simple, actionable step to reduce unnecessary stress on your body. By making small changes like this, you're giving your system a chance to focus its energy on repair, recovery, and maintaining vitality. So, what can you do to minimize these risks? First, consider how you reheat leftovers. If you must reheat chicken, do so gently. Using a low-temperature oven or stovetop method can help preserve the protein structure better than a microwave. Better yet, try incorporating leftover chicken into cold dishes like salads or wraps, where reheating isn't necessary. Another strategy is to cook smaller batches of chicken to eat fresh, reducing the need for storage and reheating altogether. These small adjustments might seem minor, but they add up over time, especially as your body becomes more sensitive to dietary stressors with age. The key takeaway is that food preparation matters just as much as food selection. Chicken itself is a nutritious choice, but how you handle it after cooking can make a significant difference in how it affects your health. By being mindful of habits like reheating, you're not just feeding your body, you're showing it care and respect. As we age, these small acts of mindfulness become powerful tools for protecting our long-term well-being. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 5, mushrooms lose their balance when reheated. Mushrooms are a nutritional powerhouse, beloved for their earthy flavor, satisfying texture, and impressive health benefits. Packed with antioxidants, fiber, B vitamins, and immune-supporting compounds like beta-glucans, they're a fantastic addition to everything from stir-fries and soups to omelets and side dishes. Whether you're sautéing cremini, grilling portobellos, or simmering shiitakes, mushrooms bring a unique depth to meals while offering benefits for heart health, immunity, and even cancer prevention. But there's a lesser-known downside to this culinary favorite. Mushrooms are highly sensitive to reheating, and this sensitivity can affect not just their taste and texture but also how your body responds to them, potentially disrupting your internal chemistry in unexpected ways. Unlike most vegetables, mushrooms have a unique composition that includes complex proteins, enzymes, and delicate fats. When you cook them fresh, these components break down in a controlled way, releasing their flavors and making their nutrients more accessible to your body. However, when you reheat mushrooms, especially multiple times or using high-heat methods like microwaving, their structure undergoes further degradation. The proteins and enzymes break down into less digestible forms, which can lead to digestive discomfort, bloating, or a heavy, sluggish feeling after eating. This is particularly true for older adults, whose digestive systems may already be less efficient due to age-related declines in enzyme production and gut motility. What might have been a minor inconvenience in your 20s or 30s can become a noticeable source of discomfort in your 50s or beyond. The concerns with reheated mushrooms extend beyond digestion, though, and touch on a deeper issue: oxidative stress. When mushrooms are improperly stored, for example, left in a plastic container where moisture accumulates, or reheated unevenly, their proteins and fats can oxidize, forming compounds that contribute to cellular damage. Oxidative stress is a key player in aging and chronic disease, driving inflammation and increasing the risk of conditions like cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and even neurodegenerative disorders. Studies have shown that oxidized compounds in food can exacerbate this stress, placing an additional burden on your body's antioxidant defenses. For seniors, or anyone managing chronic health conditions, this added stress can manifest as fatigue, brain fog, or a weakened immune response. Let's consider a practical example. Suppose you've made a delicious mushroom risotto for dinner, rich with cremini and oyster mushrooms. It's a comforting, nutrient-packed meal, and you store the leftovers in the fridge. The next day, you reheat a portion in the microwave, but you notice the mushrooms have lost their tender, juicy quality. They're now chewy, slightly slimy, or have an off-putting, muted flavor. These sensory changes are more than just a culinary disappointment. They're a sign that, reducing the need for storage and reheating altogether. These small adjustments might seem minor, but they add up over time, especially as your body becomes more sensitive to dietary stressors with age. The key takeaway is that food preparation matters just as much as food selection. Chicken itself is a nutritious choice, but how you handle it after cooking can make a significant difference in how it affects your health. By being mindful of habits like reheating, you're not just feeding your body, you're showing it care and respect. As we age, these small acts of mindfulness become powerful tools for protecting our long-term well-being. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 5, mushrooms lose their balance when reheated. Mushrooms are a nutritional powerhouse, beloved for their earthy flavor, satisfying texture, and impressive health benefits. Packed with antioxidants, fiber, B vitamins, and immune-supporting compounds like beta-glucans, they're a fantastic addition to everything from stir-fries and soups to omelets and side dishes. Whether you're sautéing cremini, grilling portobellos, or simmering shiitakes, mushrooms bring a unique depth to meals while offering benefits for heart health, immunity, and even cancer prevention. But there's a lesser-known downside to this culinary favorite. Mushrooms are highly sensitive to reheating, and this sensitivity can affect not just their taste and texture, but also how your body responds to them, potentially disrupting your internal chemistry in unexpected ways. Unlike most vegetables, mushrooms have a unique composition that includes complex proteins, enzymes, and delicate fats. When you cook them fresh, these components break down in a controlled way, releasing their flavors and making their nutrients more accessible to your body. However, when you reheat mushrooms, especially multiple times or using high-heat methods like microwaving, their structure undergoes further degradation. The proteins and enzymes break down into less digestible forms, which can lead to digestive discomfort, bloating, or a heavy, sluggish feeling after eating. This is particularly true for older adults whose digestive systems may already be less efficient due to age-related declines in enzyme production and gut motility. What might have been a minor inconvenience in your 20s or 30s can become a noticeable source of discomfort in your 50s or beyond. The concerns with reheated mushrooms extend beyond digestion, though, and touch on a deeper issue: oxidative stress. When mushrooms are improperly stored, for example, left in a plastic container where moisture accumulates, or reheated unevenly, their proteins and fats can oxidize, forming compounds that contribute to cellular damage. Oxidative stress is a key player in aging and chronic disease, driving inflammation and increasing the risk of conditions like cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and even neurodegenerative disorders. Studies have shown that oxidized compounds in food can exacerbate this stress, placing an additional burden on your body's antioxidant defenses. For seniors, or anyone managing chronic health conditions, this added stress can manifest as fatigue, brain fog, or a weakened immune response. Let's consider a practical example. Suppose you've made a delicious mushroom risotto for dinner, rich with cremini and oyster mushrooms. It's a comforting, nutrient-packed meal, and you store the leftovers in the fridge. The next day, you reheat a portion in the microwave, but you notice the mushrooms have lost their tender, juicy quality. They're now chewy, slightly slimy, or have an off-putting, muted flavor. These sensory changes are more than just a culinary disappointment. They're a sign that the mushroom's proteins and fats have undergone chemical changes. The once beneficial nutrients have transformed into compounds that your body struggles to process, potentially contributing to inflammation or oxidative stress with every bite. The texture of reheated mushrooms offers another clue. Freshly cooked mushrooms are plump, flavorful, and satisfying. After reheating, they often become rubbery, watery, or overly soft, signaling a loss of structural integrity. This degradation doesn't just affect enjoyment. It reduces the nutritional value and increases the likelihood of digestive or systemic issues for older adults who may already struggle with bloating, gas, or irregular digestion. These subtle changes in food quality can compound existing challenges, making it harder to pinpoint the root cause of discomfort. To minimize these risks, handle mushrooms with extra care. If you have leftover cooked mushrooms, store them in a sealed glass container in the fridge to prevent moisture buildup, which can accelerate spoilage and oxidation. When reheating, opt for gentle methods like a low-heat stove top or oven to preserve as much of the original structure as possible. Even better, consider enjoying leftover mushrooms cold, tossed into a salad with olive oil, lemon, and fresh herbs. They can be just as delicious without the risks of reheating. If you're cooking mushrooms, try preparing only what you'll eat in one sitting to avoid the need for storage altogether. The broader lesson here is that small dietary choices can have a cumulative impact on your health. Avoiding reheated mushrooms might seem like a trivial adjustment, but it's one less source of strain on your digestive and immune systems over time. These mindful choices can help you feel lighter, more energized, and better equipped to handle the challenges of aging. By paying attention to how you prepare and store sensitive foods like mushrooms, you're investing in your long-term vitality, one meal at a time. As we wrap up this video, I want to thank you for joining us on this journey to uncover the surprising risks of reheating certain foods. Take a moment to reflect. What have you learned today that surprised you the most? Maybe it's the hidden dangers of reheating spinach, the bacterial risks in potatoes, or how something as simple as reheating eggs or chicken could impact your health over time. We'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share one thing you've learned today and how you plan to bring it into practice in your life. Your thoughts inspire us to keep creating content that informs and empowers you. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.